trying to hide in plain sight, you might choose to do something illicit in a commonly traveled thing so that your trail masks in with all the others.
Right, we were talking about some ways in which we could have like smugglers, like bins inside
Mm-hmm.
of the interiors of some of the ships, so you can put cargo in there that you don't want to be detected either by scan or, and I suppose by this quantum travel trail detection. So even if you do get interdicted, get boarded and scanned, you know, they don't find your salacious cargo that you've
Uh-huh.
been eating.
Yeah, there might even be something coming up in the near future that might take some advantage of some of that, and that's all I'm going to say at this point. You just
Cool.
nod knowingly. All right.
So, we're getting a smuggling ship. At least that seems to be a distinct possibility. Um, I have some suggestions. I have some ideas along this route, if I may. Though clearly, it seems that a decision and a concept probably already exists. Um, if we're talking about just cargo containers, that's something that we knew. We had heard in the past, there were going to be smuggling components on the Buccaneer. Yeah, and those were amazing. We're enjoying them right now. But smuggling crates, smuggling containers, things that could hide your cargo. If that's actually going to be a thing, cool. That's great. To have crates that maybe you lose a little bit of volume, but you can hide what your cargo is going to be for in the future when we get to a point where the scanning mechanic is fully fleshed out and you can actually hide your cargo. That's a great idea. I think that's fantastic. If we're talking about a purpose-built smuggling ship, in the broader context of what they were talking about masking your quantum signature, hiding in and amongst other quantum signatures, that sort of thing. If we're going for a fully stealthed out smuggling ship, if that's the route that we're going, might I suggest something along the lines of a Connie? Something that's not too big, something that perhaps can be repurposed. You know how there are two versions of the Starfarer, right? There's the Starfarer and the Starfarer Gemini, and the Starfarer Gemini is a ship that is originally built by MISC, but then is then remanufactured by Aegis to make the military variant, which is the Gemini. Perhaps Drake can remanufacture a version of the Connie. Maybe you can go a twofer and make one of those the Corsair, one of those the yet unnamed, smuggling ship, if that is indeed the case. I would argue that at this point, and I've made this point before, and some people were quite disappointed in me for saying this, but I would argue at this point that we don't really so much need new ships and more ships and different ships. There's a lot of crossover with a lot of ships, and maybe just taking an existing ship and modifying it to fulfill an additional role, creating a variant, or in the case of this ship, the Caterpillar, perhaps creating specialized cargo modules that hide the Caterpillar's internal cargo. Maybe they could be something that comes along with the Caterpillar Pirate, just a suggestion. Something along those lines. A new concept ship is always an exciting thing for a lot of people. It's like, ooh, the new ship, the new hotness. Let's talk about it. Let's make videos about it. Let's discuss it. But for the long-term health of the game and for the immediate needs of the game, I think it would be better to take an existing ship, a ship that you've already built, a ship that's already flyable, and creating a modification of that ship. Something that, at least from a design perspective, from a creation perspective, is kind of low-hanging fruit, something that you can implement very quickly, something that can be brought into game, brought online very, very quickly, because, you risk falling into this trap of, well, we need more money to develop the content that we have, so we end up, putting out a concept sale, and part of that money is going to go into, once again, redesigning, building, and creating yet another ship that goes into the backlog that we may not see for ages. Maybe it would be better to kind of create it from an existing ship. So to make it a little bit easier, that may not, get a lot of people excited. Oh, I want a new ship. I want a whole new hull. I want this ship to possibly be the ship that I want. All the ships that I see are boring. I've seen them before. Give us a new ship. Give us a new ship. But I think that, honestly, if there is going to be a smuggling ship, I would like to see it built on the framework of an existing ship. Something like a Constellation or a Caterpillar or, even a Cutlass. Something built into that. If we're just getting like stealthy cargo containers, cool. No problem. That's an awesome idea. Can't wait to see it. But once again, that's an idea that had come up many times before over the years, and it had been discussed very, kind of almost in a hands-off way, like, yeah, that's something that we might do in the future. But if you're talking about a stealthy kind of smuggling cargo ship, then I would just like to see it built off of the framework of an existing ship. I know that there's going to be a lot of people who are like, no, new ship. I think that there's room. Like, you could use that as a chance to flesh out the Caterpillar. You could use that as a chance to, since you're constantly building the Connie variants, I mean, there's another Connie variant going up right now. You could double down on that and build this other ship and get it out in record time by using the existing work that perhaps you're doing on other constellations which are not in game yet, or even doing a version of the Cutlass. You could do that along with the blue and the red and get them all done at once, something like that. I would like to see CIG kind of play it that way as a player, because I think it would lead to it being developed much more quickly. And I think that we have enough right now. We have enough original ships, and we have enough ships waiting to be built. I don't think that we necessarily need to add a completely original hull at this time. I think that, in the future you can revisit things and you can say, oh, let's do a whole different version of that, but let's get the game finished. And if we're going to add new ships, let's add ships that are not going to take too long to build, or ships that we can build alongside existing ships that are already coming. Would I purchase a smuggling ship? If it was built off of an existing space frame, probably. I would, but I wouldn't like pay new money for it. I would just melt or reassign other ships to that ship, I think. If it was interesting enough of a concept, of an idea. But I mean, that would depend on many aspects of the ship. I mean, does it have ramps over elevators? That would be kind of a big winner for me, because I'm not a big fan of elevators in the game right now. As long as it was something interesting, something that I could see the long-term value of it immediately. And if it wasn't a ship where it's like, well, here's some good aspects, but there's quite a few kind of stupid pay or trade-offs in it, then yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to me. I always felt that the Prowler, that was kind of a missed opportunity with the Prowler. It's like, no, it's a troop ship. It doesn't carry cargo. It's like, it's right there. I mean, there's a total opportunity right there to make the Prowler not only just, a stealth boarding ship, but also a smuggling ship. And I think that there was a very big missed opportunity with the Prowler in not including cargo capacity on that ship and just making it, no, it's just a troop carrier and nothing but. That's like, I feel that was kind of a boring and a very silly choice to make. So I would be interested in it. I'd be interested to see what they have in store for it. Would it probably be a Drake ship? I think so. I think that would be a likely outcome. But once again, it would depend heavily on the ship, and I would favor highly a development of an existing ship. I think I would favor that much more highly. I mean, if they were to take, say, the Caterpillar Pirate right here, and kind of re-engineer it to make it a smuggling ship, maybe give it some quantum masking technologies or something like that, build that into it, I'd be down with that. I'd be really down with that. That would be kind of cool, actually. But as a whole new, brand new, entirely different hull with a new ship, I don't know about that. I kind of feel that CIG would be kind of working against themselves on that, and so in the end, I think that would be up to the individual player, but I wouldn't be all that enthusiastic about it. Rather, had they built it off of an existing ship, then yeah, I'd be probably a lot more enthusiastic about the idea. But once again, that's just my opinion and my take on the current situation. I'd like to see, if there are going to be more ships, I would like to see them as explorations or evolutions of existing ships. In a weird way, kind of like the new medical ship was kind of an extension or an exploration of the Connie. You could kind of argue that was kind of just an oversized or an upgraded or upsized Constellation in a lot of ways, except for the differences in the engine pods. If it was something along the lines of that, I could see it a lot more easily, but I would like to see it be something more that can be developed in concert with another ship. Not something that has to be entirely done on its own, where an artist is stuck there for a year or more, and designers and all that, working on this one ship. Rather something where they can kind of get a twofer and do two ships at once. I'd be a lot more enthusiastic about it then. But yeah, a smuggling ship would be a cool idea. But once again, these are my opinions. Other people might have different opinions on, or different takes on that situation, or whether or not there's going to be a smuggling ship entirely. When do I think that we'll find out? Probably September. I mean, obviously we're not getting a Gamescom thing or a ship, so probably September, or in October at CitizenCon we may see something like this. But we've been getting a lot of really regular monthly kind of concept sales, and yeah, I think that probably a smuggling ship, I could see them squeezing that in the next couple of months. So if that's it, that's kind of what I hope it's going to be. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, yeah, that's the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.